have been asked, and what I'm going to start with is how to fit hinges to boxes. So I've got the R going to the top, and that's what we're looking for, a nice fit like that. Do the same to the top. If you've got a finished top like I've got here, it's an idea to put a bit of cloth underneath so you're not going to mark the top of your job. Okay, so that one goes there and that one goes there. So now we've got nice fit there. All right, we'll go back to this piece of stuff I've got here, which is 2 pieces of veneer. I don't know what they are. They might be 0.06 or 0.07. It doesn't really matter within that ballpark. And then masking tape. And I put that, and you have it so it's just below where the hinge is going to poke out. A good test to see if you've got a good fit with the hinges is put it together like that and just poke the hinges in that slot. If they fit in there nicely, then you're not going to have much dramas. Okay, so if it looks like that, that's okay. But if when you put it in, you don't put the hinges all the way home like I did, but if you've got a gap like that, then you're going to have problems. So, let's be about it again. To find the middle best you can, just put a punch mark. Now I only do two screw holes. I don't do all of them at once, because if I need to adjust, it means I've still got 2 good bits of wood there I can adjust into. And I will show you if you make a mistake and you drill in the wrong place, there's an easy fix for that too. All right, use a very, very small drill because I'm using, I think they're number 2 screws. These little brass screws here, not very big at all. It's always good, especially when you're using brass screws in particular. Use a bit of soap to lubricate the thread. There's nothing worse than spinning the head off a screw when you've just about finished the job, and it just makes a mess of everything. So I'm using an old egg beater here. You could use, if you've only got a power drill, use that. I like this because it gives me much more control over my drilling, and I know I won't go through the top of the box. Go down a little bit deeper than your screw is long, and that way you're not going to bottom out. Again, with brass screws, the reason for that is they are very, very fragile and they will break. Whereas if you go a bit deeper than the length of the screw, you've got the benefit of the thickness of the hinge, or part of the hinge. That will give you a bit of relief as well. Okay, so rub a bit of soap on the thread of the hinge, on the thread of the screw. Just start it by hand. I would suggest, even if you're using Phillips head screws, do them by hand. Don't do them with a screwdriver bit in a battery gun, because you can strip the heads off them so easily. When you're getting down near to the end, I turn and then back it off a quarter of a turn. Give it a little bit more, back it off a little bit more. That way you're clearing the lands of the screw, and that will also prevent it from blocking. Nearly home, back it out, put it back in, nearly home, back it out. And I'm not worried about dressing it at this stage. So this one, get the R at the top. Oh, you can tell when I'm concentrating, can't you? Because I'm quiet. Doesn't happen often. There we go. And pop the other one in. And as I said, I'm not worried about dressing them, or initially I don't care about screwing them all the way in. Now this is where, if you've got any adjustments to do, this is where you're going to be doing it. All things being equal, when I shut that lid, it should go bang. If it doesn't, I've got too much preload in it. You ready? That's what you want to hear. All right, now let's have a close-up look at it. That's fitting tight, and if you run your hands around it, it's pretty darn nice all the way around. There's no preload on it. So with that, I will then go ahead and put the rest of the screws in. If it wasn't lined up or whatever, I can do this. See, I've got a bit of slop there. I can do this to get it lined up so it's nice and smooth. Then carefully open it. Then put the new screws in. If it's out and you can't jiggle it, loosen the screws off a little bit. And then you can just manipulate the lid until you can feel it square all the way around. Now if you screw something, so that's how to, oh then obviously you go ahead, drill the other holes and put your other screws in. I'm not going to do that because I've got a lot more work to do on this box. So I know now the screws are fitted, so I can take this off and I'll go on to the next box.